Hello, everybody. This is Ron Ake with Second Chances on Life podcast. I'm coming at you from my office here at Seth Wadley Ford in Ada, Oklahoma. It's late and the cleaning crew is walking by and it's a little awkward, but this is a time that I can talk to you and not be distracted and just focus on what I'm doing. Might be a little awkward. It sure is for me, especially with people walking around out here looking at me like I'm in a fishbowl. But last couple of episodes, I know I haven't been laughing or smiling a lot, and I apologize, but this topic of trying to help people with addiction and alcohol and drugs is near and dear, and it's a very serious topic, and it's killing people in this world every day. And if I seem not too smiley or excited sometimes when I'm doing them, I apologize. That's not my nature. It was brought to my attention today that you're more cut up and funny person than what you're being on camera. And I am, and I wish I could, shed a little more light on this subject and be a little more open and laugh and joke and a little more, but I'll try to lighten it up a little bit. But it is just a very serious subject and topic, and it means a lot to me. So I don't mean to be like that if that's the case, but I want to start every episode by thanking some people. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I want to thank my wife and son. I want to thank Seth Wadley himself. Thank you, Seth. Without you doing what you did to help me, I wouldn't be here today. I want to thank Seth Wadley Auto Group. They've been very supportive. I want to thank Rob's Ranch Recovery Center in Purcell, Oklahoma, and Landmark Church in Purcell, Oklahoma, and Pastor Justin Blankenship. Without all those people right there, I know without a doubt that I would not be here today to be talking to you. So I was one of those people that, like the topic of the day, is anxiety and anger and depression and stress, all in the workplace. I let all these things pile up on me and make me a very miserable, angry person. And I don't want that on anybody. But we're going to start this off with the Lord's Prayer. If you have drug and alcohol problems and you ever decide to go to a rehab center or whatever, you're going to learn both of these prayers, the Serenity Prayer and the Lord's Prayer. So I'm going to try to start saying them with these episodes, and you should be able to learn them by heart. And if you don't, then you will when you get there. I can promise you that. So let's do that right quick. The Lord's Prayer is, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. So as I said, you will learn that one if you go to most rehab centers. So let's talk about stress and anxiety and stuff. I'm spent a lot of years in the car business. Like I said, started in 97, it's 2024 now. And I want to talk to people of all types of jobs, but just because I might refer to the car business or whatever, plug your own line of work in that's stressful and high paced and all that, and it'll apply just as well. Just because I don't know the ins and outs and intricacies of your business, but I do know the car business, and I know a lot of good people in this business, and I know how stress and anxiety and all that can affect all of us in this business. And I want you to know that the Seth Wadley Auto Group, it's growing, and it's got a lot of people and a lot of employees. And I just want everybody to know that I know what you're going through. If you're struggling with stress and depression and anxiety and substance use disorders, if you're abusing or whatever, I know. No one on this side of this camera will ever look down at you or think bad about you. I will try to help you anytime I can. You're welcome to call me. Within the auto group, it's easy to track down my number and my email. You are more than welcome to call and talk to me firsthand, because I don't ever want anyone to make the mistakes that I made and to really go deep into depression, anxiety, and substance use because of stress and the work environment and all that. It's a great business. It's supported my family for a long time, but it can be very stressful. It can be a roller coaster of emotions. And I know what it's like to think you have a healthy paycheck coming, and last month's rollbacks come back or bite you in the rear end, or things fall through, and you're expecting a big check, and it just doesn't happen. And it always happens at the time when you need it the most, and you're expecting it, and then something will happen and it won't come through. So believe me, I know, I've been there, and I don't want you to do what I do and just run off and go start a bar tab or take some pills or do whatever you do. That's just not healthy. It's not going to do you any good. It's going to cause problems. I have embarrassed myself multiple times, and I have left good jobs before because I let it all pile up on me and get to me, and I would take off in a blaze of glory and just say, heck with it, man. I'll go find a better job somewhere else. Well, the problem is if you can't fix what's between the ears up here that's causing all of it, it's just going to go right with you to the next place too. I've done it, I promise you. And I am not sitting here preaching anything that I haven't done myself, but I do have a few things that might help you that I wish I would have been mature or wise enough to use, because they do help. So for instance, I carry the 1 day at a time 24-hour coin in my pocket with a serenity prayer on it. I was going to use it at the end, and we may repeat it at the end, but I want you to listen to the words of the serenity prayer if you don't know it. Anyone that suffers with anxiety and depression and all that from the work field, please listen to this and remember it, the words. It is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you break that down and you utilize that, I've almost worn a hole in my pants rubbing that coin whenever things get stressful like that, because I know that most of this stuff is out of my control. Most of it's out of your control. So believe me, I know, man. I just want you to know that I know where you're coming from. I might not know your particular job detail or anything, but I know the feelings that you're going through, and I'm here to help you. I mean, please don't go make the mistakes I did. It's hard on the family. It's hard on the job. It's hard on you. And running off to run up a bar tab and spend a bunch of money and go home drunk and arguing with the family and stuff, it is just a runaway train of emotions, and it is a bad scenario and a bad combination of bad decisions. So there is a couple of verses that I want to share with you right out of the Bible about stress and anxiety. One of them is Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. And it says right there, we don't need to be anxious about anything going on today. And we don't have to get all wound up and excited or anxious or irritated about what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow will work itself out. That's the same with trying to be sober. Just worry about 24 hours at a time. Let tomorrow worry about itself. All you got to do is worry about being sober today. But just like that, whenever we do get anxious and we do get all balled up with emotion, and believe me, I know I've done it, and it's not a laughing matter, but a reason I kind of get a raised eyebrow and a grin is because I know how stupid I've acted, and I don't want any of y'all to make some of the mistakes I've made. And so what I would do, I'd get all fired up and the cheese would slide off the cracker, so to speak, and I'd be expecting a good paycheck and something would happen and it wouldn't happen, or customers stand you up or whatever. And I just say, heck with it. I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to go get a drink. And boy, I'd end up staying a lot longer and spending a lot more money and coming home late. My wife Carla smelling booze on me and knowing that I drove and like a moron. And I'm telling you, there's better ways, man. If you have to, go to your car. Don't go to your car and drink like I did, but go to your car, have a moment of silence. Ask the Lord to help you through this tough time. Take away my anxiety and my depression, my anger, or just put on a good song. Put on a Christian song or something that puts you in a good mood. Say a prayer and quote some scripture or read the Bible. But that one there was Matthew 6:34. Excuse me. Philippians 4:6-7 is, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Pretty much says it right there, guys. I didn't do it. I'd go out and I'd end up in fights and drinking and all kinds of problems. Just start a long laundry list of bad decisions that would haunt me and follow me for the rest of my life. Bad habits you pick up, all that. It says right there, be thankful for what you have. Give it to the Lord. He will help you. Just because we go off the rails and we turn our back on God, God will never leave us or forsake us. All you got to do is say his name, ask for his help, and he will be there. But we don't always do that. I didn't. In the heat of everything, I would be so fired up, nobody could even talk to me. Nobody won't be around me. I was just an idiot. I would just get so mad and so flustered, and then I'd go drink, and that's just pouring fuel on the fire, and I don't wish that on nobody. And I'm just telling you now, it's a bad idea and a bad decision, and you don't have to do it. One of the coping mechanisms that I got taught was close my eyes, take in 3 big breaths, and breathe them out through your mouth. And just keep your eyes closed until the last of that 3rd breath is out, and then slowly open your eyes. If you need to do it again, repeat it and do it again. It will calm your soul. Another one is when it's really bad and you just really looking at every direction to take off and think, man, I'm getting the heck out of here. I can't handle the situation, what's going on right now. I've had all I can do. I know, I've been there. Stop, stand up, stop, look down at your feet. You are where your feet are, and the Lord has you where you need to be right here, right now, at this moment. He don't do things by accident. You're not where you're at dealing with all this problems and stuff by accident. Stop, look at your feet, and realize the Lord has you right where you need to be right here at this moment. And he will not give you or me more than we can handle. So if we can learn to cope with these things, we might just be able to help someone else when they get all fired up and worked up too. And then just think of how nice the workplace would be if we're helping one another cope with a day-to-day routine. and it would be a lot happier place. Because I know I'd go fire off, go drink and blow off steam and come back, and then I got booze in my system. And I can promise you, with a little booze in your system and you come back, it don't take near as much as it did the first time to get you fired up all over again. And that is not a winning combination right there. So I promise you, try these things. They work. I didn't believe they'd work. I thought that was a bunch of hogwash until they taught them to me, and they do work. But you got to give them an opportunity. If you just fly off the handle and you take all these problems home, and you're just going to end up arguing with your spouse, and the kids and all that are going to hear it, or you're going to end up arguing with them and saying things and doing things that you wish you hadn't. It can all be left at the car. You might have a long talk with God on the way to the house after a bad day, and just saying these prayers and practicing these exercises. But when you get out of the car, leave it at the car. I didn't. I would take them in, and I would end up, it would cause arguments at the house, and especially if you got booze on your breath, or if you've been smoking or doing a cocaine or whatever, or under the influence of pills or whatever. Your spouse knows you. She knows, or he knows, what you've been doing. I mean, they can tell. So then you're going to argue about that. You're already irritated. You're already ticked off. You could have avoided all of it had you just slowed your roll and realized, just like in the Serenity Prayer, break it down. If I focus on the things that I have control over, and I don't sweat and worry about the stuff that is out of my control, I do my job, and I'll hold everybody else accountable around me to do their job. That way they don't have to do mine, and I don't have to do theirs. The spokes in the wheel are turning and running a lot smoother that way. But there's always that one that, wants to pawn their work off on someone else, or not do theirs, and it affects everybody else. I know it's going to happen. And believe you me, you can't be the universal police and go confront that person about that, because I've been that person too. And you live with regrets if you do. I can just tell you. Just please take my word on that. Practice these better habits. If you're in the Seth Wadley Auto group, it's easy to find my name, my number, my email. Please, before you go make the next bad decision, because the Lord wants us to start working on making the next right decision. And that means putting one foot in the front of the other, taking one day at a time, slowing our roll, and just taking care of our business and the things that we can control. But if things do get out of hand, you can always contact me. I will take the time and step aside. I will talk with you, visit with you. I'll ask if I can get off work and come visit with you, or we can schedule a time to visit, because I know I'm not any better than nobody else. I don't have all the answers, and I don't want to pretend to sound like I do. But I know what this business is like, and it can be hard on you and frustrating on you, but it can be great for you at the same time. It's all what we make it. And it takes us all working together to make it a beautiful place and to work in the long run. Because if you're just coming in by yourself, and then you're just frustrated and irritated and ticked off all the time, and you're not no fun to be around, you're not having no fun. So why don't we just try to have a little fun, enjoy the time we have together, because we spend more time with each other than we do our own families. We do work long hours, and they are stressful. I know that. But we can make it more fun. I don't know why over all these generations that I've been in it, and all these years and days I've been in it, that it really hasn't changed or evolved much. And then on the flip of that coin, it don't even resemble the same game it was. But what I mean by that is just, I don't think it's ever going to change. You be a straight shooter. You're honest, you're sincere, you shake a man's hand, you look him in the eye, and you handle your business. You tell him what you're going to do and do what you're going to tell him. And I don't think that's ever going to change. A quote from Zig Ziglar is, if we help enough people in this world get the things that they want, we in return will get the things that we want. And that is so true. We're in the people business, and anyone that's ever had to work for the public or, serve the public, waiters, waitresses, cooks, whatever, hospitality, waiting on the public and dealing with the public's going to take its load. It's tough. And people can just be as rude as if you've never been in it, you can't even imagine. It's just mind-blowing how rude and obscene some people can be. But those are miserable people. There's a lot of good ones out there that you can tell the ones that's ever had to wait on the public or been in hospitality or anything, because they're generally friendlier, easier going, better tippers, all that. But I'm saying all that to say that keep the serenity prayer in mind. Focus on the things that we do have control on. Let the things that we do not have control on handle theirself, and pray for the wisdom to know the difference between what we can control and what we can't. That right there would make the world of difference on your day-to-day routine. And I'm sitting here telling you this from a school of hard knocks, man. You can't do what I did and run off irritated and ticked off at the world and go get in fights and start a bar tab and come back. I never could drown my sorrows. I found out that mine float, and the more I would drink, the more they would come to the surface and come to the forefront, and that would just fuel the fire with me. And I don't wish that on you, and I don't wish that on your family. And I have apologized to my family, and again, I apologize, Carla and Dakota, for putting y'all through the things that I put you through. I really don't know how you stayed as long as you did and why, but I'm thankful that you did, and I owe you better, and I'm working to be a better person for it. But anyone that can hear this, especially my family in the Seth Wadley Auto Group, don't let it get to you, man. There is better ways of coping with it, and you'll be a better person for it. And once you figure out that you can handle these type of things in better ways, and you can start telling other people and showing other people by example how to handle them better, it becomes a lot better work environment. And then people will come to you, and you can walk through the breathing with them. You can look down at your feet with them and explain it. You can quote scripture with them. You can get aside and pray with them. You can go sit in the car with them, listen to a good Christian song or something, and just visit with them. Sometimes it just takes somebody being asked, are you okay? This world is full of people with depression and anxiety problems. There's a lot of suicides in this world, and it's overwhelming how many suicides there is just here in the United States. It's overwhelming on how many people are diagnosed with SUDs or substance use disorders just here in America. I had to do a lot of research and did a class at OU, and I got up in front of some OU classes and gave this pitch and stuff about substance use and the effects of addiction on society. It's overwhelming. But I think the majority of the root of the evil and the root to the cause is that we just let this world get to us and overwhelm us. Instead of us being in control of it, we let it control us. And if you're in sales or in this business, that controlling the process is a lot of it if you're going to win. And it's not about winning or losing, but it's about controlling the process and making things go a lot smoother and a lot easier for you. If not, man, it is like shoveling a mountain of manure with a spoon, and you're never going to get through it. It's going to always keep piling up on you if you don't learn how to deal with it. So try those things: the breathing, the prayers, looking down at your feet, and remember God has you where you are for a reason. You are where your feet are, and God has you where you want to be or where you need to be for a reason. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. Obviously, I'm in my office here at Seth Wadley Ford in Ada, Oklahoma. And until we can get a good, steady home to continuously work from, and I believe the Lord will open doors and provide for us a good place for us to work from eventually. And eventually, we probably will try to invest into some sober living. I would love to do that one day. Once this podcast takes traction and we can get sponsorships and donors and all that, we're going to try to sponsor people to get treatment and get the help that they need. And if you have the means of contributing anything, please do. We're going to put every penny we can to good use, and we're going to try to help as many people in this world as we can get the help that they need. I think it's very important. I was in a very, very dark place where I didn't care if tomorrow come. I went into rehab wearing a heart monitor, and they told me if I kept doing the drinking and the pills with the new medication they gave me for blood pressure and heart, that it'd kill me. And I was in such a dark place, guys, that I didn't care if tomorrow come. And that makes you a dangerous person to be around. And it's a dark, scary place. And if you're there, there is a better way. I'm living proof of it, man. If I can do it, you can do it. And you don't have to go slide off into that abyss like I did. I was to the point to where I couldn't turn the lights on. I couldn't stand to look at the man in the mirror. So you don't have to do that. Please learn better coping mechanisms and deal with this. I know it's stressful out there. It doesn't even have to be the car business. It can be whatever business you're in. If it's fast-paced and stressful and people putting pressure on you, or you putting additional pressure on yourself, I know what it's like. I'm my worst critic, usually. I get harder on myself and get down on myself more than most people ever would, but I'm the one in control of that. And as long as I acknowledge it and then I can see the signs and sense them when it's happening and know some good coping mechanisms to deal with it, and I can feel it coming on, then I can maybe nip it in the bud and take it in a different direction and turn it around. And I can tell you that if you can do that and you can learn to do that, then you can help others do that. And it's just a pass it along type deal. Just like I always want to thank Seth Wadley for helping me get the help that I need, and all the people at the ranch, Rob's Ranch, my family, my Lord and Savior. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I have zero doubts I'd be dead. I was in such a dark place, guys. I was picking out songs for my own funeral. I know that sounds depressing, but I didn't care if tomorrow come. If tomorrow looks like yesterday and today, then who cares? Well, that's pretty pitiful, and that's not a way to handle things. We should be thankful for the little things. And if you start being thankful and grateful for the little things and start thanking the Lord for what we do have, instead of all in a tizzy about what Joe Blow has or what we don't have or what we want, be thankful for a nice looking sunrise. I used to never pay attention to them. Now I take pictures of them and I'll send them to Pastor Steve out at the ranch, and I share them with people I work with. It's little things, man. We get so wound up on things out of our control and, things that we overlook, and instead of being thankful for the things we have, and instead we get all bent out of shape about the things that we don't. So I know it's a stressful world. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I love you guys. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made, and I'm here to help you anytime you need it. Especially if you're within the Seth Wadley Auto group, it's easy. You can look me up, you can find me, you can email me. I'm there for you. And all you got to do is get a hold of me. I will take the time, and I will, not that I have all the answers. Good Lord, I know I don't, but I've learned from my mistakes, and I can help you not make some of the mistakes that I did. And I hope to do just that. So please look me up and give me a call. And those that don't work for Seth Wadley Auto Group, when this podcast does take traction and gains ground, then I will have a website up. I will have ways of contacting us with email or whatever. And we're going to have these podcasts out on different platforms and easier to find. And I'll have a calendar on there. We'll be doing I'll be doing some sobriety coaching to where people can go on the calendar on the website and book out 30-minute intervals. There will be some hour blocks if you need. And we'll do some one-on-one coaching. I'm not going to be your sponsor. I hope you get a sponsor if you need one, and I hope you look into sober living. But I want to be a coach. There's what's called a sober or sobriety coaches out here that just like if you played sports like I did, there's always been coaches in my life that were such a big influence on my life, and I love them to death. And they would help me with the fundamentals and just hone my skills and be a positive influence and be a cheerleader and a motivator. That's what I'm going to be for you. I'll help cheer you along the way, and if we have something to celebrate, a milestone or a mile marker of sobriety, I want to let the world know. It'll be a high five moment for all of us. And there's going to be ways of going on and communicating and talking with Ron, and we're going to celebrate these moments. But as we go, we're probably going to start working on goals and accountability and keeping you motivated and giving you reasons to stay sober today and tomorrow and the next day and so on and so forth. So I'm going to wrap it up here for now, guys. If you can help, if you do like what we're trying to do here and you can help, please do. If you know someone that needs this, or if it's you, please seek the help that you need. And if it's not you and you know someone that needs the help, please ask them if there's anything you can do to help. Try to get them to listen to some of this. Maybe they can communicate with some of it. I'll have episodes out there on every topic that I can come up with and think of about substance use and emotion and anger and all that, because it's what I lived. It was my life, and I don't want you to have to live that type of life and be miserable and dangerous. I don't want you to have to go through it. So I'm going to end right there, guys. Love one another. I love you, and thank you, and have a blessed day.